What is happening, YouTube? It's a good Friday night to talk about a lot of subjects we're going to cover in this one video. I just want to say I'm thankful to everyone that continues to come to this channel, watch the content, learn something from the content, be entertained from the content. We're very happy to have you. And the fellows should be straggling up in here at some point in time in the near future. They're running on CPT time tonight. But y'all know this is how they do on Fridays. They get in here a little slow on Fridays, but that's not going to stop the ship. And here's one of them right now. Who's this gentleman wearing the
shirt? That's right, man. Fight back.
You done made it up in here this time.
Oh man, you know, sometimes I'm a little late because I have to cook dinner on. I have to cook with my wife, and I do 2 days on, 2 days off. So some nights it's my night to cook. So I'm running a little late sometimes.
Man, I can run my mouth off by myself if I have to. But it's a whole lot more fun when you don't have to have all the brain power for the whole entire show. If that makes sense, you know. So, well, y'all know this is Larry. I'm Lamont. We are the Avengers of Black current culture and life gains, and we're in the building tonight. What are we going to cover tonight? As bad as I hate to say it, we got to talk about these dumbasses with the coronavirus. It just will not go away. I want to let it go so bad, but I can't because they are actively trying to harm you, and they don't understand it. We're going to cover that. But the majority of our time is going to be spent on the movies and TV shows because we got trailers galore tonight. We've got Hightown preview for episode 7. We've got a brand new Superman coming out. I've got that trailer. And we got The Boys season 2. And we got to break that one down.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, man. I knew you was going to like this episode. I knew you was going to like this one. Then we've got a brand new breakdown of Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. We know about the enemies. We know who else is going to show up. And Scarlet Witch is definitely confirmed to be in it. Woo! And then last but not least, for my people that follow us, for our financial advice, the stock tips we do. I've got a video for you guys to see on why you should at least consider thinking about Amazon, even if you can get a fractional stock. And then I'm going to give you my top stock picks that I did today. Maybe Larry will chime in on what he did today. And then we just going to kick it. So let me shout out the people, Larry. Marcus Bale, what's up? Hey, Mrs. Todd, Mrs. T. Todd, how you doing? We appreciate you popping up in here.
Representing.
Arlene Hicks, Denise Jackson, Mike Willie, what's up, my brothers? And to all you all that bought my T-shirts from my Shop Life Gain store, I want you guys to be patient because of COVID coming back in some of the states where they do my shipping at, they delay in times. I've made a decision that if you guys don't get this stuff fulfilled by the July 15th, I'm just going to refund you your money because no one wants to be waiting 8 months because Jack Bunnies keep messing the COVID up and keeping it from going where it needs to go. So those of you that have shirts with me, if you don't get it by July 15th, look for a message from me. Give me your refund. And Larry, that brings us right into our first subject. Coronavirus is going back up. Let's take a look at this, these dumbasses.
Our new ABC News poll with Ipsos finds more than 3 in 4 Americans are concerned about contracting the virus, the highest levels in a month. And for the first time in nearly 2 months, the White House task force will brief the nation. That will be this afternoon.
And new cases hitting a record for the second straight day. More than, listen to this, 39,000 new infections. And take a look at this map. All 15 of those states have now hit daily records within just the past week.
Texas is one of those states, and Marcus Moore starts us off in Dallas, where the governor's put the reopening of the state on hold and is taking steps to free up hospital beds for an influx of COVID patients. Good morning, Marcus.
Michael, good morning. Here in Texas, there has been a strong push to reopen fully, and things seem to be headed in that direction. But now, officials here with the rise in cases have pulled back on things like elective surgeries in several counties across the state. Doctors are sounding the alarm this morning as California, Florida, and Texas, America's 3 most populated states, hit new record highs in daily COVID cases and hospitalizations. Now, the White House task force back in action, preparing to brief the country this afternoon for the first time in nearly 2 months. As the U.S. marks a record high for reported cases since the pandemic began, more than 39,000 new cases in a single day. The CDC issuing this grave warning about the number of infections.
Our best estimate right now is that for every case that was reported, there actually were 10 other infections.
This as ICU wards fill to capacity. According to a FEMA update obtained by ABC News, in Alabama, some hospitals now transferring patients from facility to facility as they run out of ICU beds. And a dire situation unfolding in Houston, the country's 4th largest city.
We are definitely feeling the surge in Houston. More hospitalizations, more ICU patients. So number one, it's real. It's out there. It's not just numbers reflected in testing. More people are getting sick.
At Texas Medical Center, they're moving into surge planning as ICU beds fill rapidly. Doctors say by early next week at this one facility, there could be 60 ICU patients here, with that number rising to 80 by the end of the week. Now, as the number of COVID hospitalizations in Texas reach record highs for 13 of the last 14 days, Governor Greg Abbott hitting pause on the state's reopening. Across the country, cases are rising in 29 states, including Florida, where new cases have now topped 5,000 2 days in a row.
We are in a worse situation than we were at the beginning of the pandemic. Absolutely. Our rates of infection, our rates of new cases, the types of people who are getting infected are all increasing.
Governor Ron DeSantis under fire for not making masks mandatory across the state. And in Arizona, the governor halting the reopening process as well, with more doctors and nurses being called in as hospitalizations increase. Bridget Harrigan is a traveling nurse. She spent a month treating patients in hard-hit Queens, New York. Now she's on the front line in Arizona.
It's a very difficult time in the hospitals right now. Obviously, for patients, they're talking to me and they're talking to me about their fears and they're really terrified.
Larry, Lord have mercy. Look, this thing hit mid-March. It's when we started having the shutdowns.
Yep.
I remember people talking cold trash to Governor Cuomo. I remember people rolling up to Michigan, protesting with AK-47s in the Capitol building. You know what 2 states have the lowest growth in coronavirus right now as we speak?
Share, brother, share.
New York, Michigan, and if you want me to keep going on, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, it seems like all the blue states are the ones that really follow the plan, the lockdown, the reopening plans the way they're supposed to be phased.
Right.
And they seem to be doing the best. I mean, I live in Virginia here, and and we're a blue state in the sense of we have a Democratic governor, and we're about to enter phase 3 for reopening on July 1st. And so you have some of these other states that are literally they're not even in a phased reopening. They're back on lockdown.
Well, for me, Larry, I don't care what your politics are, because when you run around here saying you're not wearing a mask, you're playing politics. The COVID does not know what a politic is. A mask is a piece of equipment you wear to protect. No, a mask is a piece of equipment you wear to protect your fellow man, because I keep hearing from the people that don't believe in this that all lives matters. That's what I keep hearing.
Right.
But apparently they don't matter when you out and about and your quote unquote personal liberty is more important than all lives. Let's say you don't believe it. You toss your hands up, F it. You don't believe it. Right. Wear the mask for the sake of your fellow human being.
Right.
I mean, wear it for that. And if you don't want to do it for that, do it for your precious economy. It's precious to me. Yeah. It should be precious to you. Health is more important to me. But if I need to find a way to get these people who keep saying shit like this, well, if we keep testing, of course we're going to have more cases. That's not the point. The point is to test as much as you can so we know who has it, so we know who we can quarantine, so we can contact trace. That's the point of the test. We need to know we need to know who has it so we can trace where they've been and start to segregate those areas. You can't do that if you start this bull job about we shouldn't test because you're gonna have more cases.
Right.
And yeah, go ahead. No, you go. I'm gonna take a break. I'm 2 weeks away from a kid, so I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna give the floor to you.
I just want to say that this idea, and this is for anybody out there who believes this. If you're out there and you believe that if you don't do testing, then we won't have new cases, it is just simply a flawed premise you're starting with. It's just it doesn't make any sense. You're gonna have cases. The only difference is whether or not you know about it.
Exactly. Like Larry, explain to me this.
For cancer, you can still die from it. You just don't know you have cancer, and they'll tell you when you get they'll tell your family when they get your autopsy back. Oh yeah, he had liver cancer, or he had kidney cancer, or prostate cancer, whatever. You can still have it. You're still like COVID's still going to spread if we don't do these measures to stop it. Not testing for it just means that we're giving ourselves a false sense of security and we're allowing it to spread like wildfire, but it's still going to spread.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that people are out there listening to Donald Trump, and this is what makes no sense to me, is that you don't hear the anti-maskers, and this is just crazy to think there are people that are anti-maskers. I mean, wearing a face mask should not be political. But you have these anti-maskers out there. You have these people who are there are COVID deniers, which I guess shouldn't surprise me since there's Holocaust deniers. But you have people out there that are listening to Trump and these other Republicans saying everything's okay. But this is what I don't understand about the Republican Party and these other people. Trump is the president of the United States. He is going to get the very best health care while he's in office, and he's going to get the very best health care for the rest of his life. You are not. Just today, he was in court trying to take away your health care. So just understand that. Even if, and on top of that, with the Republicans, there's only one president at a time. All these other people have to run for office, and they could be in office for the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years or more, depending on how old they are and whatever. So if they back this horse right now, Trump, if he gets voted out of office and for the next, several months, COVID is just spreading like wildfire, and then Biden takes over and has to deal with this crisis, guess what? Trump doesn't care. Trump is going to go to live on one of his estates. He's going to go to his building or his golf club in Scotland or go to Florida, and he is going to forget about all of you, and he'll be done with you. He won't care. And then he'll sit up there from his cell phone tweeting about how the coronavirus is all Joe Biden's fault and how the Democrats are killing everybody and yada, yada, yada. It'll all be complete bullcocky. But the thing is, the Republicans still have to deal with the fallout of Trump when it's all over. And I don't understand why they simply don't stand up and say, look, we can go with you on some of your social stuff. We can go with you on some of the economy. We can go with you on the judges. We can go with you in a lot of places. But we're not going to go with you on the health and safety and security of the American people. That should be where the line that they draw in the sand. And the fact that they're not willing to draw that line says a lot about the Republican Party as a whole. They really do not care about the American people.
Well, Larry, some of these governors are attempting to toe the line. They're not drawing the line, they're towing the line. They are doing what Trump don't want them to do. Governor Abbott, he's as hardcore right as you're going to get. He's wearing a mask. He's telling people to wear a mask, and he's restricting business again. The governor in Florida doing the same thing, but they won't come out and say Trump needs to do it because I guess they're afraid. I don't know why you would be afraid when you're running your own economy in some of those states. And The mere fact that we are seeing more cases now than we did when it first started is just pure idiocy. Pure idiocy. You have a blueprint that 5 states have given you that had mass numbers of people with COVID. And they gave you the blueprint. And you guys just want to kick the can down the road. Now school is in jeopardy. You really think that we're going to be over this by mid-August? You can forget it.
No.
And then you got folks wanting to go out here saying, I don't give a hot damn rat's ass. I'm still going to my 4th of July fireworks and I'm shooting them GD firecrackers.
Here's the thing about schools too is that people, they keep on going out there and saying, oh, our kids they're less likely to have any ill consequences from it, or they're not the ones that get sick. It's the young people that get it and then they're okay. They're asymptomatic or it passes quickly. They don't really get sick. Well, guess what? They spread it around. Kids, unlike adults, have trouble with boundaries because they have problems with impulse control because they haven't developed their brains fully. When kids get excited, they run up and hug each other. They run up and hug other adults. They run up and hug strangers who look like people that are familiar to them because that's what kids are. They're bundles of love. And when you send a bunch of kids into a place that haven't seen each other in 6 months because school let out early, they're going to be hugging each other. They're going to play with each other. And you're going to try and tell them to socially distance. Good luck with that. And then you're going to put them in a classroom with a 60-year-old teacher or a 50-year-old teacher or a whatever old teacher. And all those teachers are going to be in the teacher's lounge together or on the playground or wherever else. Because guess what? Teachers don't get to leave and go someplace else in between classes. And they're going to be in class with these petri factories, these walking petri dishes all day. So what happens when you send all your kids to school and a couple of teachers test positive? It's not going to really take but 1, 2, 3, and you have to shut the whole school down. Because once you start doing contact tracing, when you say, oh, okay, well, this teacher came in contact with this kid then came in contact with this teacher, who then came in contact with this kid and this teacher and that, you literally could shut down an entire school doing contact tracing on one infection.
Just like that. Did you see the story about they had these kids that was 22 years old, 21, 22 years old. They went to a single bar in Florida. 135 people in this single bar in Florida. 2 people went in there that had COVID. Now all of them got it. Every last person was contact traced to this bar has COVID-19. Every single one of them.
I mean, this thing is not going away if we don't take the measures.
We've got to do it. And it bothered me that a local business owner, my state, ladies and gentlemen, the governor here has said it's mandatory to wear a mask out in public unless you can safely be away from someone 6 feet. So you can't do that in a building. So I read a story in my local paper that one of my local businesses said it's not right that he should have to tell his customers to wear a mask. And we're not really enforcing the put on the mask. The governor has asked that the business owners have people put the mask on, tell them they can't come in. This guy said clearly, I don't care if they wear a mask or not. We were shut down for 6 weeks. We got a lot of product we need to sell. And this is more important than worrying about some freaking mask.
I can tell you this, what they should simply do in some of these businesses, they should have some sort of code enforcement, health department people that simply go visit these places. And when they see that there's people not wearing the mask, they just simply say, you have to shut your doors, period. Your doors are shut, your business license is suspended for the next week. After that week, you'll be able to reopen, and we'll try this again. And if it's a second violation, your business license is suspended for a month. And if you get a third violation, it's just revoked, and you're out of business. And that's just the way it should be. I mean,
you have to enforce it. If you're not going to enforce it, it's not going to work. You got to enforce something on these individuals because they don't want to listen. They just don't want to listen. And you want to talk about getting the police involved. This is the type of thing where the police can be heroes. Take these asses to jail, sit them in jail for 24 hours. Think about, because literally, Larry, You saying what this man said, you could be killing someone.
Right.
Literally, you could be inviting an environment that you're going to make a petri dish where people go out and kill other people. That's what you're saying. You're literally saying.
Likely he has. I mean, I don't want to sound cruel, but likely he has. If the people are coming to his bar, like the place that had that bar where everyone got infected.
Right.
Likely someone out of that group of people is going to die.
Yeah.
It may not be, if you have 100 and some people, it may not be 10, it may not be 20, it may not be half, it may be 1, it may be 2. But if someone told me there's 158 people over there, why don't you 2 go over there, and 2 people are going to die, but you don't know which ones it is, I'd be like, nah, I'm good, I'm going home.
No, me neither.
I'm cool, thanks. Now I'll order my beer. I'll order my beer from some store and drink it at home.
Exactly.
You know?
So, ladies and gentlemen,
I'll get my Disney Plus and ESPN Plus bundle and watch me some Black Panther and some UFC and drink my beer.
Exactly. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cap it right there because we know we're preaching to the choir with you guys. You guys are highly educated, have a lot of empathy for your fellow men, your fellow women. We know that you guys are doing what's right, but it boggles our mind sometimes that we still have this level of, I just hate to say it, deplorables in the world that I don't know, man. It's like they got the memory of a goldfish. Every time they turn their tail, they forget what's really in front of them. So we wanted to get that stuff. Go for it, Larry.
You know, I posted a video earlier this week about Walmart, and I was frustrated with them because I was trying to do curbside pickup and some others and order some stuff. Didn't work out. It was a mess. The whole experience was a mess, and I was angry and upset and posted a video about my experience. And one of the things I mentioned in there was that I saw people going in and out of that store not wearing masks. Walmart is supposed to be enforcing everyone wearing a mask when they come into the store. I was seeing people not wearing masks going in and out. And so somebody commented on there saying, oh, you don't need to worry about COVID. All this stuff is bogus. And you know, saying that even if you get it, people like you who get it aren't going to get sick. It's old people and people that are you know, that have all these problems and yada yada yada. And he was like, you don't really need to worry about it. Just you the whole thing wearing a mask, you don't need to. And I thought to myself, my God, what the hell is wrong with you, man? I'm thinking to myself, maybe I won't get it. You're right. Maybe I won't get it. I'm 40-something years old. You know, I do have asthma, which does put me in a higher risk category. You know, but I was like, maybe I won't get it. But what about the people that are next to me? What about the old person that lives across the hall from me? You know, what about the person that I may be walking down the street and maybe this person is taking their first walk because they're just getting out of chemotherapy and now I just breathe hot COVID all over them. What about that person? And this is the thing that just really frustrates me is that And I hate to keep blaming stuff on the Republicans, but I feel like when you look at the two parties, the Republican Party seems to be so much about hate and anti-everything, and it just feels like we are in this climate where you have this whole like 40% of the nation or so that just doesn't care about anybody else but themselves and maybe their immediate family, maybe probably not even them, because they're still going out there and partying it up and then coming home. And yeah, a mask. I was wearing a mask the other day. I was just telling my wife I was wearing a mask the other day. I came home, washed my hands, did my whole delousing thing that I do when I get home, and I went and sat down, started watching TV, got back up and did something else to go out, and was like, oh, snap, I still have my mask on, you know? I mean, it's one of those things. If you wear it, it doesn't become uncomfortable. If you wear it and you leave it on, this is one of the things, leave your mask on. Don't go out and every time you think you have an opportunity to take it off, pull it off, just leave it on. When you get in the car, you have to drive from A to B, leave it on when you're in the car. That way you get used to wearing it, I see people get in the car. The first thing they do is peel their mask off. You know, they go there. They're walking from a store to their car. The first thing they do is pull their mask down. They're in the car. They get out of the car to walk to the store. They leave their mask down until they get to the door. They pull it up. Why do that? All it's going to do is remind you that you don't want to wear a mask. You have to touch your mask when they tell you shouldn't touch your face. Put it on. Don't touch your face. But after a while, you get used to it. It doesn't bother you. You'll forget that it's on. And then the mask doesn't become an issue.
Larry, you gave a nice speech for people to just do what the hell they need to do. That is right. I mean, I keep a mask in the car, and we got one at the house. I am a person who does not drive in my car with the mask on. I mean, hell, I guess it's different for me because I've been in the medical field. But when I get out the car, I put the mask on. When I come out the store, if no one's around, I take the mask off, put it back in the same place I have it in the car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to do this, you'll do it. My grandma always said, if somebody want to do something bad enough, they're going to get it done. They just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. And because we've got such a packed show with movie and TV stuff, we're going to move on because we know you guys are doing all the right stuff. We know you're doing it. So, Larry, movie and TV show time, baby. We got some good stuff today. So first, let me start with what we've been watching on Sunday, and that is Hightown and that crazy ass Jackie. They gave us a preview. Let's take a look.
I think they know about Junior. Maybe. I want you to take care of it.
We gotta find him before he gets his throat slit.
Look, where you at?
There's no going back.
Hands up, say police!
Think it's going down right now?
You know where Junior's at? What do you think?
Cito, what's going on, man?
You talked to the cops yet?
Oh, man, please, come on. Oh, Cito, you ain't gotta do this.
Ooh. I'm happy, but I'm sad. They talk. I don't like this. Only 2 episodes left. Only 2 episodes. Just when it's starting to get revved up. So we have all said that we knew Junior was going to be the butt of the climax. Larry, based on what you've seen, you didn't hear a gunfire. You see Cito is out there in the woods with Junior. What's going to happen?
He's not going to take him out. He's not going to take him out. I'll tell you, there's a couple reasons why I think he's not going to take him out. I think because Junior is integral to the story, so they're going to leave him in there. And I think because Cito actually likes Junior.
Yeah. That's his boy.
Likes him. He doesn't like he. I think Cito, and I know this probably sounds crazy because you're up there, you're this big dude, gangster, and all this other. The dude seems very lonely. I mean, the way that he talks to Junior when he's in the car, the way he opens up to him and tells him about his childhood and the first time that he popped somebody, and he tries to help Junior when he says, you know, he tells him about getting over the fact that he just killed someone and how to move on from it, and it's like he cares about this kid and he likes him and he wants him even though he's gonna, you know, he's a gangster and he's taking him down the totally wrong path. He wants him to be okay. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think he's going to kill him. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out. I would worry. They're not going to take out Jackie. That just seems obvious. They may they may shoot her or something where they try and leave us with the cliffhanger that she's dead or injured or something. But we know she's not going to be taken out. Mm-hmm. But I think Jackie, if I'm not mistaken, because she works on the water, I think she's federal law enforcement. I think those fish and wildlife people are. I'm sure they have state people, but I think she's a Fed.
Yeah, she's a federal.
And that's the last thing you want to do is kill a federal law enforcement officer. They will rain hell down upon you.
Well, then that leads you to wonder, what is Officer Saberho going to do? Because in that clip, he's trying to find Junior. And Junior has not really been on his radar this whole season. He ain't thought about no Junior. So what did they do to lead up to him looking in the Junior? Did Jackie go say something? Because Jackie right now is the only one that knows Junior is tied to the death of Krista and to the death of Krista's friend. So I'm interested. And you know, Officer Saberho, he's a hothead. I mean, he really thinks that him and Old Boy are Miami Vice, Tubbs and Crockett from back in the day. Although they don't got the Hot Wheels to drive. He really think that.
They don't have the slick clothes either. They don't have the pastel suits and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Or the espadrille with no socks.
Yeah, man. Or the drippy Jerry curl. They don't got none of that, you know. So, but I'll be interested to see it. Y'all know we're gonna drop the review, me and Crystal. So y'all look out for that. Next one I got for you, Larry. There's another animated Superman dropping.
Oh,
we gotta check this one out. Here we go.
I don't want him to feel different.
He is different. He lifted a tractor with one finger, Martha. Whoever put him in that ship had no idea or care for how dangerous a world they were sending him to.
Breaking news. An unidentified object heading towards Earth was detected by Star Labs.
Look! Up in the sky! Why are you here?
Why are you here, Kryptonian?
Lois, and you are?
I'm Clark Kent. This planet is protected, alien.
It's ass-whooping time!
I thought Martians only existed in the movies.
Those movies are terrible.
Are you right, Miss Lane?
What's the S for? Superman.
Damn.
Those people are in grave danger.
Let them go. My name is Kal-El of Krypton, and I come in peace.
That looks good, man.
Look, you see I keep the poster back there. DC, if they don't do nothing right, they can do a cartoon.
Their cartoon movies are on point.
When they first showed the trailer, I was about to say, man, I know y'all not doing another Superman origin story. I was like, come on, how many origins can we see of Super? Then when you get into it, they just doing it when he kind of first became, you know, young Clark Kent. They're going through the stories and the trials and tribulations. And then when they dropped Martian Manhunter in there, they dropped Lobo in there. I was like, okay, I need to see that tomorrow.
Yo, who's the villain? Who's the villain in there?
The first one was Lobo.
Is Lobo like, because I was wondering, like, I'm not familiar with Lobo, so I was wondering is he like some evil Lantern Corps dude or something? Because he had a green ring on.
No, that was a kryptonite ring for Superman.
Okay. All right. No, that makes sense.
He's basically an intergalactic mercenary he's fairly strong. He ain't Superman strong, but he's pretty strong. He likes to ride that intergalactic motorcycle. And at one point in time in the multiverse, he was a member of the Justice League because Superman was killed for a little while. But typically he's just a little thorn in Superman's side. He can't do nothing with him. But I'm interested to see who this other alien being is that Martian Manhunter has to come and team up with Superman. That's going to be a good team up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. When they do, DC does their cartoon movies they do them right. They're on point.
Yeah, man. I don't understand why the cartoons be so good and they struggle
with the big screen.
Action. Yeah, they struggle with that. I don't know, but in any event, we go from a good Superman to a bad one. The Boys season 2, ladies and gentlemen, is about to drop. I got that trailer too. Let's take a look.
Hi, you know who we are, but let's meet another hero. This is Lance Corporal Dan Miller.
Dan and the other brave Marines of 2nd Battalion are helping keep you safe from the supervillain threat.
We're proud to fly alongside them, and now we could use your support.
That's right, Maeve, with our new campaign, Saving America.
Here I go, you guys. Wish me luck. Oh, FYI, not a real base.
As if Homelander and Maeve are gonna eat MREs and piss in a ditch with the rest of the crew.
Yeah, hi, we're filming right now, excuse me.
Also, you might recognize Army Boy as hotel clerk number
Hello?
2 from The Devil's Breath, episode of Criminal Minds Beyond Borders.
Well, hello.
Oh my God. Hi, my Nana's your biggest fan. I'm Stormfront.
Great.
Right, yeah, from Seattle, right?
Portland, actually. Your, Highness. Holy shit. Your eyes are really fucking blue up close.
You are fun. It's been a hoot, but we got work to do, so let's get back to it.
Oh, totally. They just wanted me to meet you.
Who?
Oh, the boys on 82. I'm the new girl.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, hi. I'm in the 7. Replacing Translucent. God bless his soul. Ink's barely dry, but yeah, reporting for duty. Fuck yeah.
No, I don't think that it's not true. I don't know anything about this.
Wow. Well, Stormfront. Who delivered the good news?
Oh, Mr. Edgar, the big guy?
Wonderful. Great. All right. Great.
Going again, people.
Well, I think this is going great.
Oh boy! Now that's so for you guys that didn't watch the first season, I just beg of you to go back and watch season 1 of The Boys. That was old Homelander. He's basically their version of an evil, corrupt Superman. If you want to see Superman, if he could be bought by $1, if you want to see a version of Wonder Woman that could be bought by $1, that's them. And now someone went and put this Instagram model on the team, and her name is Stormfront. So I'm assuming she has the powers of controlling weather. And they didn't run it by him, and his ass is mad. Oh my goodness, Larry, speak on it, brother. Are you excited? What do you think?
Man, that first scene was that scene right there was so funny. It was just man, that was. You know, when I watched that, I was just thinking to myself, gosh, this is the kind of gritty humor and stuff I wish was actually on a DC, in a DC movie. And it's funny because The Boys was actually created by, I believe, by a former DC writer who felt restricted by all the wholesomeness of Superman and created The Boys. So, it's kind of I was loving that. I can't wait to see that. That's just going to be straight up comedy. So
yeah, man, we can't wait. I'll keep you guys posted. Me and Larry might even have to team up, do reviews of that one in between the baby sleeping. So now we go to Marvel, ladies and gentlemen. If you're finding us for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. I'm Lamont. That's Larry. We both got channels. We're talking about Doctor Strange and the multiverse. A lot of news came out this week. We're going to take a look at my big homie over there at Emergency Awesome. He did a rundown. We're going to watch it and we're going to break it down.
If you didn't see the news, earlier today, Chiwetel Ejiofor did an interview. He's the actor who plays Baron Mordo during the first Doctor Strange movie. He confirmed a couple of really huge details about the plot of Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, and what's going on with the movie right now, especially given that everything's been delayed because of the virus. He explained what's going on with the villains, and because it's a multiverse movie, I know we're all expecting multiverse-level villains, even more epic than the first movie, because technically Dormammu was from the multiverse. Originally, they were supposed to start filming the movie earlier this year, but because of the virus, Marvel delayed every single Marvel Phase 4 movie, starting with Black Widow. Originally, Doctor Strange 2 would have come out next May 2021. Now it's coming out November 2021 when Thor 4 was originally supposed to come out. This is the entire updated schedule for next year, so you get the idea. Everything just moved down a release slot. So Doctor Strange 2 is just about introducing the MCU to the multiverse in a much, much bigger way. Biggest thing is Baron Mordo said that he's coming back as one of the major villains of Doctor Strange 2. I think we assumed that he would come back based on the way he left in the first movie, but no one at Marvel had confirmed it until now. So now it's official. He is coming back. The last we saw of him at the end of the first Doctor Strange movie, he had become disillusioned with the institution of the Sanctums in the Ancient One after believing that she'd betrayed everything that he stood for. His whole concepts of order, justice, right and wrong as it applies to the use of magic. He says there's a reckoning coming for all them for their misuse of magic, and the bill always comes due. So the difference now, heading into Doctor Strange 2 after Avengers Endgame, is that he just views himself as the instrument of that reckoning. That's also part of the reason why you probably didn't see him in this giant Avengers roster lineup, because he's super powerful, he could have helped them against Thanos, but he still doesn't really like what they're doing and the way people are using magic. His whole beef with the Ancient One was when she revealed that she'd been using dark magic from Dormammu's dimension in order to prolong her life so that she could continue to protect the main MCU version of Earth from threats from outside our dimension like Dormammu, while also continuing to search for her inevitable replacement. She said that she'd actually used the Time Stone to view alternate possible futures until she found ones where Doctor Strange showed up. That's kind of how Doctor Strange got the idea to use the Time Stone during Avengers Infinity War to look into the 14 million futures to find the one scenario where they could beat Thanos. So Mordo cuts ties with the Sanctum, and then in that post-credit scene removes all the traces of magical power from Benjamin Bratt's character, who had previously left the Sanctum after learning to use magic just to regain the use of his legs. He basically strips him of all his magic, saying there are entirely too many sorcerers, which is a reference to the Sorcerer Supreme, who by that time had become Doctor Strange. So Mordo himself is on a quest to balance the scales, so to speak, enacting his reckoning across the world, getting rid of magic users that he thinks aren't following the rules of magic. Number 3, which is where we come to the Doctor Strange Scarlet Witch team-up in the movie. So Scarlet Witch is going to be one of the main characters during Doctor Strange 2. Kevin Feige said that their WandaVision series will also cross over with the movie, like it's a prequel to Doctor Strange 2. And during that, Marvel is going to make Scarlet Witch go full comic book Scarlet Witch, chaos magic and all. That's why they're teasing the X-Men classic comic book outfit. But this all means that Scarlet Witch is the newest S-tier magic user in the MCU, and Baron Mordo is trying to restrict the use of magic, so that would put her on his radar. They're kind of going the Loki route with Baron Mordo in the MCU. He's not necessarily evil. He doesn't want to kill Doctor Strange or anything like that. He just believes that there are a lot of people out there misusing magic, and it's going to lead to another major catastrophe, House of M style. So number 2, the real main villain of the movie as of last year was still going to be the cosmic entity Nightmare from the Nightmare Dimension, but that was when Scott Derrickson was still writing and directing the movie. It'd be mighty cool then to tease Mephisto during WandaVision and then have him show up during Doctor Strange 2 in a much bigger way. He's also one of the few big villains that Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange share in common. Big Doctor Strange villain, also separately big Scarlet Witch villain. I even did a big Easter eggs video for the first Avengers movie as part of my Infinity Saga rewatch series the past few months, and during the first Avengers movie, they subtly referenced Mephisto on screen. But their plans for the character at that time were very different, and they ended up not using him as part of that version of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. The reason Scott Derrickson said he wanted to use Nightmare as the main villain is just because he was fascinated by the idea that nightmares could be a real thing that could threaten you from another dimension, controlled by this giant cosmic fear lord. The whole concept of Nightmare is that he's only able to affect people when they're in deep sleep states, because something about the barrier between dimensions is much weaker at that point for each person. Presumably, in his version of the movie, Scarlet Witch or someone else would have been responsible for weakening the barriers between dimensions enough so that Nightmare could physically enter our dimension and start turning people's nightmares into reality.
You see that geek wood? That's geek wood right there, ladies and gentlemen. Poking all up that's geek wood right there. Man, I can't wait. Oh my God. They said that they're going to turn Scarlet Witch loose and let her have her full chaos power. She was already super powered in the first place. I mean, that battle she had with Thanos in Endgame was epic. I mean, she was already super powered. Now she's going to be even more super powered. They're connecting her TV series with the MCU movies. And also you got the guy that played Mordo coming back. And I want to make a suggestion to you guys who like the movies but never seen the cartoons. Doctor Strange has a cartoon that came out around 2010, basically him versus Baron Mordo. Please go check that out. It'll give you a little bit of the backstory of what's going on. And bringing in Nightmare, who is an evil cosmic being who feeds off your nightmare. He comes to our reality based on your fear, and he controls your nightmares to make you more afraid. And the more afraid you are, the more power you give him, and that allows him to come into this world and basically put everybody to sleep and force them to have nightmares to feed his energy. Whoo, Larry, you can take it away. You can take it away. Boy,
yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, Doctor Strange is one of my favorites. I really like that story that they have going with him. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm looking for part of this is just that you see these trailers, you see all this stuff, you get excited, but it feels so far away.
I know, man.
It's like it just makes me more and more angry at all these damn COVID idiots. I'm like, could you guys, if for no other reason, if you don't care about your grandmothers, you don't care about yourselves, you don't care about the economy, would you just stay your ass at home so we can knock COVID out so they can get back to filming Marvel movies? You know?
I mean, Larry, by the time they're done, my baby girl going to be like 6, and she'll be coming to the movies with me by then. she'll be coming to see Thor 4, 6 years old.
I'll tell you, they're gonna have to start doing like Disney and Marvel. They're gonna have to start doing with like Dana White did with Fight Island. They're gonna have to go buy an island. Disney already has an island that they use for their tourism stuff with their cruise ships. They're gonna have to convert that island into like a movie set. It's like a big movie island and production island, and just test everybody. And then once you're there, you can't leave. You stay there, you finish the entire movie, your entire movie, then they send you off.
And release it on Disney Plus till we're able to get back into the movie theater. Release it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're both very excited for these things we're seeing coming from DC as well as Marvel. So we'll keep on the lookout for them both. And Larry, it's money time, baby. These people got to know what you've done with your stocks today. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're to the last segment, the financial segment. We're talking about stocks, helping you guys make those gains. If you're finding us for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to his. We're breaking down a little bit of what we do in our stock portfolios, trying to give you guys some knowledge. And before we dig into what we did today, I've been telling you guys to buy some Tesla. I'm also about to tell you guys to buy some Amazon, even if you have to get a fractional share. To make my case, I'm going to show you a video of what is going on with Amazon. But before I make that case, a wise man once said, a very wealthy investor, billionaire investor, he said you want to invest in companies where people have multiple entities from that company in or around their home. And that's exactly what Amazon has. So take a look at this. And Larry know where I'm going with it, and then we'll break it down.
All right, so let's talk about Amazon, the stock that's been booming, and I'm pretty sure one of you guys that's watching has probably bought Amazon products in the past 24 hours. Let's be honest here, this is one of the biggest e-commerce sites in the world. But the thing about Amazon that sets it apart from other companies is it doesn't just do e-commerce. Now, if Amazon just does e-commerce, I'm sure it's still worth a lot of money, but one of the biggest reasons why Amazon is such a ballin' company is because it's way more than an e-commerce store. So Amazon obviously got Amazon.com, which is pretty, big. A lot of people sell things on there. You got really big companies that sell stuff on here, and you also got the smaller private sellers. But now Amazon is competing with those guys as well. In the very beginning, I thought Amazon is most likely going to stop on e-commerce. No way would they ever go to the grocery business. But they went into the grocery business with a huge bang and something very different, which was Amazon Go. And not only that, they also own Whole Foods Market, which of course a lot of us students and also hipsters go there because it's really, really nice. And Amazon Go is something that's very cool. It's kind of like a shopless store, and pretty much if you go inside, let's say you grab a piece of bread, some cheese, and a bottle of like your favorite drink. Just walk out. There's no cashier. And the moment you walk out, they charge it on your Amazon app. That is pretty awesome if you ask me. If you check this out on Yelp, you may be wondering, how is the Amazon Go stores? Is it very good? You can see it's 4.5 stars out of 251 reviews. A lot of people have been saying it's pretty incredible to actually go into a store, scan things, and walk out. It's pretty awesome. Like, another thing is, if you look at what Amazon owns, if you think Amazon only sells online objects and also online items, you're definitely wrong, because if you look at this, they're literally competing with every single major company. They own Twitch, Amazon Pay, they own Amazon Logistics, and they literally said bye-bye to FedEx. They have Audible, which a lot of people listen to. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys stumble to an Audible ad every single once in a while. Amazon Alexa is by far one of the best smart speakers in the world. It's way better than the HomePod by Apple. In my opinion, it's just as good as the Google Home. They have Amazon Prime Music, which is going against Apple Music and Spotify. IMDb, which is going against Rotten Tomatoes. They got Amazon Prime, which is really insane. And the thing about Prime is it gives you access to Amazon Go and also gives you exclusive deals at Whole Foods Market. It's kind of like a very nice modern cult, which millennials really, really like. And the thing about Amazon is, even though they're jack of all trades, very similar to Walmart, which sells everything, they pride themselves in good products and good customer service. Of course, they own Amazon.com, Amazon Kindle, AWS, and all this different stuff, and it's pretty incredible what they do.
Ladies and gentlemen, whatever you got to do, get you some Amazon. They touch everything, and the one thing he forgot to mention is that now they're getting ready to get into the space race. They've already got 15 satellites up, and beyond that, that grocery store that he mentioned, which is why I brought Larry into this discussion, is gaining rave reviews. You go in there, you get your produce, as long as you've got the Amazon app, it just sends the bill right to your app. You just get what you want, walk out, bam, you're done. And now they've even got it where if you go to Whole Foods, they do curbside absolutely free, and you get a discount. And so you can't beat what they've created, which is, any one of those other items can take off for Amazon and make you more money on your stock. So that is definitely a blue chip stock everyone needs to have. But I said that because Larry today invested in something that just came out. Larry, tell the good people about your investment of the day.
Yeah, so Albertsons is a grocery store chain that out in I'm from California originally. Albertsons is out there in California. They also own a number of other grocery store chains like Safeway and Vons and Acme and I don't know. They probably have 15 or so plus chains, and they're still talking about further acquisitions. But they had their IPO today. They had tried before 2 different times that didn't work out. They have a new CEO that has restructured some of their debt and they're just he's organizing the company a little bit differently. And so they had an IPO today, which was good and bad. It was good that it finally happened. It was third time out. They finally got it done. Bad is that it actually went in on a very down day in the market. So they were expected to come out between $18 and $20. And some of the financial analysts out there like Kramer were suggesting that it was a buy if you can get it under $25, because they were expecting it to go high right away. But because the market was so down, just sort of killed it all. And it came in lower. It came in at I think it came in at like $16 or something like that. And so yeah, I bought in on it. I got in at like $15.77 or something like that. So I got in lower than the IPO. And it closed down. It did close down. It closed down at I think at $15.75 or something like that. So, it's one of those stocks. I mean, if you were looking to buy it and sell it the same day, it's not working out. But if you're looking at buying it and holding it, I think it's going to do well. There's a lot of those stores out there that are, have the delivery or to go or the curbside pickup. And as we see these spikes happening, and we look at a second wave, coming along in the next, it's here now for some states and probably coming in more states in the coming weeks and months as more people open up and are irresponsible. We're going to probably have some lockdowns, if not total lockdowns. There may be partial lockdowns that are state by state. And what we're going to see is more people shopping and cooking at home. They've already been talking about more and more people are cooking at home. And when you cook at home, you have to get your food from somewhere. Most people are going to order it or go get it from the grocery store. So I think grocery store stocks are going to do really, really well over the next several months. They may not be. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I think grocery store stocks will do fine. Some people don't think they're going to be the greatest really long term, like 5 years out, because grocery stores generally have fairly thin margins. But when you have more people shopping and buying and cooking at home, it allows the grocery stores to obviously earn more money because they have more people buying, they're moving more product. Because of the way things are, the prices are going up. So right now you have prices going up, and you have increased demand with more people buying there. So I think for the next probably 12 months or so, I think grocery stores are really good. And I'm looking forward to my Albertson stock going up enough that I can sell off half of it and recoup my investment and then hold on to the rest.
Yeah. I deflected on the Albertson today just because of some of the things Larry mentioned. I told him I'm waiting to see if it gets to like $11 or $10, which I think it will, then I will get me some. But I spent my day kind of buying some more dividend stocks and investing in a handful of growth stocks. So I bought 10 shares of AU Gold. I bought 10 shares of Target. I bought 10 shares of CrowdStrike. That's the security company I mentioned to you guys that the DNC and the Republican Party used that detected that Russia was meddling into the elections. That is a great stock to buy right now and hold it through January. The stock was down today under $100. It was 110 last week. And the closer we get to the election, the more it's probably going to pump up. So I got my hands on some of that. I bought another share of Aurora Cannabis, and I bought 15 shares of All-Star ETF. And then I also bought a share of the Action ETF. And what they do is they invest in technological companies that are trying to make it to market by giving them capital, picking out the best companies. And I bought 10 shares of Callion Oil. You can't go wrong with that. Those were all my buys for the day. And I was getting ready to pull the trigger on Amazon today, but I'm waiting for people to come out with some of their earnings report at the end of the month. And of course, we know Amazon is going to be great, but a lot of people are not going to be great because unemployment is still not going to be good. We've got more COVID in places like California, like Texas. So I'm thinking Amazon is going to come down a little bit. Then I'm going to grab some, and I'm going to grab some more Tesla as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we both are not certified CPAs or financial people or anything like that. This is what we're doing in our portfolio. And y'all know that I'm not real risky. I'm probably 55% risky and maybe 45% safe. So I do a lot of investing in ETF stocks to leverage my portfolio. And I also try to make sure I have a good amount of dividend stocks. So that's why I went hard in Target today, because they pay a pretty decent dividend around 3%. Right. And I've got a handful of those, and me and
Lamont froze up.
Quarterly,
there he goes.
Annually.
You were frozen there for a minute.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys be on the lookout for that. So Larry, what's going to be your next move?
Well, I did pick up a couple of other stocks today. I bought in on Polypid, which is a biopharmaceuticals company. They came out today. I think it was another IPO they had. So it was another IPO. So I picked up like 10 shares of that. I bought in Fusion Pharmaceuticals as well. And there were a couple of IPOs. There were like 8 of them today. So I bought in on
what?
Yeah, I bought in on like 4 of them.
Hey, you look, that is your specialty. You are the IPO man of this team. You find the IPOs, you send the data so I can do the research, and we might can pull the super card and have a portfolio over $3 million in a year from now. We keep being smart about it.
We might.
I'm telling you, man.
So I bought in on Fusion Pharmaceuticals. Their ticker is FUSN.
FUSN.
SN, right?
It's like they're trying to say, fuck you, son.
You know? Again, I mentioned Polypid, which is PYPD, and then I bought in also on eBang Internationals, which is EBON. eBang is a company that creates like computers and chips for mining Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. So it's a Chinese-based company. So I was interested. They had their IPO today. I was interested in them. I wasn't really sure what they were going to do, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to pick up like 10 shares. They came. I'm not sure. I forgot what they came in at, but I bought them for like for $4.72. So or $4. What did I get them at? Actually, I don't think I even. I think it was I think I actually got them in cheaper than that. I think I got them in at like $4.25 or something like that.
Okay. So are they also in the semiconductor space, kind of competing with NVIDIA?
No, I don't think anybody's really competing with NVIDIA. They say that they're a holding company that they're a holding company that does application and integrated circuitry chip design. For the manufacture of Bitcoin mining machines. So that's okay. From their company profile. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It says the company conducts its business in mainland China and Hong Kong, the United States, and other countries. So I'm just, I didn't go in heavy because I didn't really know a whole lot about them, but I saw them. I thought they were interesting, so I figured I'll grab 10 shares and see what it does. If it goes up, then it goes up. If not, I'm out $40. So not a big deal, Yeah. But my next one, the next ones I'm really looking forward to. I have my consider to buy list here, and a lot of them. I mean, some of them look really attractive today because everything was down, but
everything. It was nothing green today. Nothing. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, here's something we also want you guys to know. I want a part of your investing to be 5 years plus. That's investing. I haven't started giving lessons on the day trading yet. Pretty much everything we do is 5 years plus, except for occasionally I might mention to you guys, I'm looking at this one because it's a 6 months play, like CrowdStrike. But for the most part, when you put money into these accounts, be thinking about what you want that money to do for you over the next 5 years or greater. Do you want to get your cash back? Are you worried about risk? Do you want a dividend? And just kind of let us know so that I can keep tailoring some content for you guys based on those things. I'm doing all three. I'm looking for stock appreciation as well as dividend, as well as I want to take a risk every now and then on something that could be big, like what Larry just did with the grocery store.
Yeah, I'm much more. I take much bigger risk with.
He sure does. Y'all can clearly see Larry's riskier than me. You know he ain't got no children. Because that boy in here he bet the farm on this grocery store, and they better produce a lot of chickens.
Yeah, see, I'm okay with the risk because part of my process or my thought is that if the stock goes down, then I'll just hold it. I mean, I don't invest money that I need now. So I'm not investing money that is in my budget. I'm just taking money that I can afford to use and lose in some respects, even though I don't want to lose it. So I buy stuff that I think is going to do well over time. But for like my IPO strategies, what I was buying mostly IPOs today, part of it is I want to buy something that I think is going to go up considerably so that if I buy 100 shares of it, I'm looking at something that will hopefully, double in the course of a year or so I can sell half of it and keep, and then keep the other half. So half of it, if it doubles, I sell half of it, I get my initial investment back, and I still have the other shares that I can keep and just let them grow long term. So, I'm much more inclined to take larger risk with stuff, like there's.
Boy, this guy was about to ruin my blood pressure yesterday. He kept sending me this stuff to look up, y'all. And I was like, Larry, no. I was like, Larry, no, man. You running my blood pressure up with some of this stuff because when he sends me these things, I dig into the company's financials. I go to their profit loss statements. I go to their dividend yields. I go to their growth. Whenever I mention a stock up here to you all, it's going through my 6-tier list of things. Has it had growth 5 years? Has it had growth a year? Has it had growth in the last 3 months, which was Rona? For me, if it can pass green on all three of those, especially the last 3 months, you're almost talking about a stock that has recession-proof qualities. For Larry, he's got a few like that, but he's more of, you know what, F it. I'm going to wait on it. I'm going to jump in now. And I know the market has its dips and curves, and by 5 years, if I done it right, it'll be good.
Right. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes it has worked out really, really well. Other times it has. Like today, when I look at my my portfolio, even though it's been really down, I'm up 38%. So,
your whole portfolio is up 38%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that'll work.
So even though I sometimes take some hits in the short term, it doesn't bother me because I'm not, obviously it's just me. It's not like I'm a some sort of brokerage house where I'm investing all kinds of money and people then come and want their money out and I have to worry about getting enough to pull out. I just, it's me. If I buy Albertsons at 15 and it drops down to 10, then I just hold on to it and then wait. And if it goes up to 25, then I sell some of my position and move on,
Right.
But so it's not that big of a deal for me to, if something goes down for a while, I try and think of it in the long term from some respects. But some of the stocks I am looking at, one of them is one Lamont has railed against, but for me, I think it's sort of just like an emotional thing where I kind of just want one because it's like my grandparents used to have it.
Oh Lord!
And I want Ford. I want to buy Ford stock. It's $5. It's $5.90. What is it? $5.91 a share. It closed at. So I mean, if I buy, 50 shares or something, that's around $300. Not that big of a deal.
I'm trying to get him to go to someone who's going to pay a yield. I'm like this with Larry. That's why I railed against him on it. If you're going to pick one like that. It's a cheap stock. It's a legacy stock. Pick a legacy stock that's about that cheap that pays a good high dividend, like get 7% back on your money. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm not the best at reading all the balance sheets and everything.
Oh God, I sit there. That is fun for me. I can sit there and do it all day long. I'm
not the best at that. I am much more of a psychological investor. I look at sort of, I kind of like to look and see what people are feeling and what the country's doing, what the world is doing, and how this particular company might play into that. And then that's how I like to roll with stuff. I mean, I look at the financials to a certain degree, but those play less of a role in my overall decision making, I think. So,
and it's nothing, ladies and gentlemen, like we said, when you're doing this, let this be money. Think of it as a true investment. This is money that you're going to put away. You want it to grow. You're not going to think about it unless you just absolutely have to get it. Right. And sometimes there's a once in a few times where it's okay to kind of ride a wave sometimes. But generally, always be thinking buy low, sell high. When something is going up, don't jump on the emotional bandwagon of trying to buy it. Like I'm telling people right now, Tesla has jumped so high. Until we see what happens in November, just wait. Just wait. If it ends the year around $1,000, then I'm going to say start buying it again. But for now, if it doesn't come back under 800, don't buy it unless you just planning on really legitimately holding it for 5 years. Because I sent Larry an article. Now I'm about to drop this deep knowledge on y'all. I sent Larry an article about what they're getting ready to do in California, Washington State, Utah. They are getting ready to make it mandatory by 2024 that all 18-wheel trucks, the semi-trucks, have to be EV trucks or electrical vehicles. So when you hear that, automatically you need to be thinking Tesla, you need to be thinking Nikola, you need to be thinking Rivian, like right now. Like don't wait till 2020 when they unveil some of their new trucks. Be thinking them now, because when they unveil the trucks and people see it, the stock is going to go through the sky. And you might want to sell it if you got enough invested then. Be thinking Rivian, be thinking Nikola, be thinking Tesla, and they're also getting ready to build a West Coast electrical truck corridor running from California up to Washington.
And here's the thing too, they often say, as California goes, so goes the country. And part of that is because California is the largest state. It is one of the most, if not the most, one of the most populous states. And it has, as far as I know, it has the most automobiles in the country, cars and trucks. And so for most people that are buying, if you're a corporation who does trucking, whether it be, a company that specializes in trucking, or if you're a Walmart or something like that who may own your own trucks, you can't avoid going to California. So you either have to logistically plan out how you're going to stop short of California at the Nevada border or Arizona border or something, and then switch out your trucks, switch out your trailers, or you're just going to go ahead and comply with California and just go ahead and make all your trucks EV, because otherwise it becomes too expensive to try and maintain two different fleets. And so it's easier just to go ahead and maintain one fleet. And if one of them has to be this, well, that makes your decision fairly easy. So,
and you can cool believe Tesla and them truck companies is licking their chops trying to get every state to make trucks convert to full EV.
The only problem I see with this is on the political side, where I can see that some of these companies are going to push back on that, and they are going to sue and probably tie up this legislation in court for a while. That
they tried that with Obama, if you can recall. I have to keep reminding people, I still have a CDL to drive a truck. I went through the class, I passed it, and Obama made them put this stuff on their truck so that you wouldn't see all that dark smog coming out of the diesel coming out of the truck tailpipe. He made them put this stuff on a truck called DEF, D-E-F, deferential something fluid. So what it did was it watered down the carbon monoxide coming out of the truck and made it a water vapor. So that's why you don't see the smog in these trucks anymore. And they complained about that and tried to run it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court knocked it down. They had to put the DEF on the truck.
Right.
I see it being the same scenario with these states. And the judges will probably say, well, if you don't want to go to their state, then don't go to their state. If you want to do business with the state, you're going to have to comply.
You see, this is the other thing I'm thinking, is that they may do, like, this, the courts may say something like that, but they may also say, okay, you're going to have to allow, and California may do this as well, where they may just say certain trucks are grandfathered in. If you already own a truck, you don't, because it would be devastating to the industry if they said by 2024 all trucks have to be EV, and now you're trying to tell people you have to basically sell your truck and buy a new truck, where there would be no market in the U.S. for those used trucks if they have to be EV from new. No, the only option would be to take those trucks and ship them overseas somewhere, which they'll probably do a lot anyway. But so they're gonna end up grandfathering in some of this stuff. So
the article said that they all have to be EV by 2030, but companies that have a certain amount of trucks have to start ushering in some of their trucks in 2024. So you start in 2024, and by 2030, they all have to be there, because it was the same way with Obama.
Right.
The DEF had to be put on every truck. It didn't matter how old it was. And he gave you from 2009 when he did the bill till 2010. And then he grandfathered some trucks in, but even they had to have them in place before he got out of office. So you basically had a decade to convert it. So, and that's the same thing going on with these, man. But ladies and gentlemen, go ahead.
Let me tell you, I have a couple other ones I'm looking at. So Lamont can tell you what I don't know if he's thought about, but he can tell you, because a couple of them I sent to him. So one of them I'm looking at is PHX, which is Panhandle Oil and Gas. And this is a company that they do natural gas and oil exploration in Texas, New Mexico, the Dakotas, mostly down, like the southwestern part of the U.S. And so I like them because they're very low right now. They're like almost at a 52-week low at like 254, something like that. They have a 52-week high of 1529, and they've had some issue with debt because they haven't really been able to do a lot of the work that they normally do. But apparently, they just secured a new round of financing or loans from the Bank of Oklahoma to sustain them through a second wave of COVID. So they're saying if there is a second wave, we have enough money to actually get through it. So I think they're going to be okay. I think it's going to be one of those things. This is not a stock that I think you would buy and expect that it's going to do anything maybe for like a year. It's not going to do anything, I think, until all this pandemic stuff is over and people can get back to work. But then I think there's serious upside on this one. That's just, So I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about, because at 250, I think I might pick up 100 shares or something and just hold on to it and see what it does. And the other one that I'm looking at is Lending Club. So
yeah, I like them.
Yeah,
I like Lending Club. I'm bullish on. I'm very bullish on Lending Club, Prosper. As a matter of fact, you can take money, you can take your cash, give it to Lending Club, and they can put you in a group that pays back 12, 13% based on how you pick how they disperse your funds. So if you want to go with a high risk group that they loan the money to, they'll pay you back 20%.
Right.
If you want to go with a moderate group, they'll pay you back 12%. And if you want to go with the low risk group, they'll pay you back 8%.
Right. And the interesting thing about Lending Club started off because one of the things that was interesting with them is they gave people the opportunity to invest in, to get into investment vehicles that individuals normally didn't have access to, because some of these vehicles you're only able to get in with them if either one, you're an institutional investor or you're a high net worth individual. And if you're neither one of those, you simply can't get in on them. And so Lending Club sort of democratized that and allowed people to get in on some of those opportunities. And so, and there are serious upsides and there's also serious downsides with some of those investments. There's a lot of good opportunities, but you can actually lose your shirt. And so, and that's one of the reasons why they don't allow just the average person to invest in them. That's what made the Lending Club so interesting, is that they were able to spread out some of that risk by pooling people's money together. So because if you're an individual investor that's worth $100 million and you put $1 million into something very risky and you lose it, okay, you lost $1 million. You still have 99 million left. But if you're an individual and you're worth 1.2 and you invest $1 million, you're broke.
Right.
So
right. You SOL.
But Lending Club is interesting. It's down a little bit right now, like everything is, because the market's sort of funky, but it's at a low right now. It's down. It's down to like 440 or something, where they've been up to they've been as high as, on their 5-year, they've been as high as like $80 a share, but their 52-week has been like 16. So I'm thinking about it again. I'm thinking about it's another one I might just get and hold on to it and see what it does. So, but there's a lot of consolidation happening with with these brokerages, like Morgan Stanley, I believe, just bought E-Trade. I'm with TD Bank or with TD Ameritrade, excuse me, and Charles Schwab actually bought TD Ameritrade, and they're still operating separately, but I believe it's later this year sometime, and like the third or fourth quarter, they're going to actually transition all the Ameritrade people over, and we'll all be under Charles Schwab. And so Lending Club could be one of those things where they're in it, and then somebody starts eyeballing them, and the next thing you know, they get scooped up by somebody else, and that could be good or bad, And so I don't know. We'll see. I think that some of these stocks, especially like I'm waiting for Robinhood to go public. Whenever that happens, I don't know when they're going to do their IPO, but it's coming at some point. At this point, they've become too big to not,
Right. They're going. It's just a matter of time. And when they do go, y'all know I'll be right here on the train, grabbing me some immediately. Robinhood is a trendsetter. So when they do go, ladies and gentlemen, unless they've got something bad in their financials, they are must go, because Robinhood puts so much pressure on these brokerage houses to let you do these stock trades for free that they force everybody else to start doing stock trading for free.
Yeah,
and
they have.
And when you put that kind of leverage in the marketplace, no matter what industry you go to, that's something you can bank on. That's innovation, that's foundation, that's roots. And I hear when they do go IPO, they're planning to pay dividends within 2 years, which is outstanding. I got to get me some of that. So
it's going to be interesting because, Robinhood, Robinhood has the way that they've done this thing where they're not charging any fees or anything for trades. Like for me, when I went to when I started, I had a Scottrade account when then Scottrade got bought by TD Ameritrade. But part of the reason why I went there was they had $5 trades. So it was like, you went to go buy something, you just planned that it was only going to cost you $5. Well, now it's free. And because, as I discovered, I didn't realize they did, but because of I guess I'm assuming it's because of the pressure that Robinhood has put on on these other brokerage houses, that I can actually buy individual shares. Like, so, I went and tested it and bought an individual share of a stock called, what was it? What's that thing? I can't pronounce the names. It's Shanghai Pharmaceuticals, but it's a Chinese pharmaceutical company that's going to have a 12-to-1 split next month. And so I bought one share, thought about buying a couple of shares just so that I can have it when it actually splits. Because, 12-to-1, I figure you get 3 shares, that'll get you at 36,
Right.
And if it goes up and if it continues to go up, then it's expensive though. It's like, the stock is $300 some a share. But, but my point is that that Robinhood is changing the way, is making other people change the way they handle their clients. And, I think what's going to happen is before we see Robinhood go public, we're going to see some of the other ones that are sort of in that same vein, like Webull. I think we're going to see them go public first. And then when we start to see some of those go public, we know Robinhood will be coming shortly thereafter because they're the biggest one. So soon as Robinhood starts looking at, going public, all the other ones, if they haven't already, they're going to rush to get out there in front of them because they know that Robinhood's going to be the biggest, and so they're going to want to try and get out there first. So
the one, if anybody's able to beat Robinhood, there's this other one called M1 Finance. They might be able to beat Robinhood because they also got a debit and a credit card already. Robinhood has been trying to get their card services out there, and it failed bad, which held them from going IPO a year ago.
Okay.
But they've recovered from that. They was planning to go IPO the end of this year, but Corona has put a little bit of the brakes on it. But now the CEO came out this week on CNBC saying that it's back on the table to go IPO around November. So we'll keep you guys, we'll keep you guys posted on it. And my folk Virgo Smith talking about Coinbase. That's the one where you do all your cryptocurrency. I don't see them going IPO anytime soon. Anytime, especially now that you can do cryptos on Robinhood, and Robinhood is getting ready to start letting people do fractional shares.
Right.
And when they do that, look out.
I'll tell you, I just discovered that I can do fractional shares with my Ameritrade account. I didn't realize I could. And then it's funny because I was having some issues, the other day, and like where I couldn't trade. It was telling me I can only liquidate stocks. I couldn't trade. Turned out that because when they bought Scottrade, they put over everything. Some of my personal information didn't transfer over.
Right.
And so they didn't have like my updated address and stuff like that. So there was a restriction on there. So anyways, it was simple enough to get removed after I was on hold for a long time, but during the process, I was so frustrated. I was like, I'm going to start looking towards other, companies. And when I was looking at, I think it was Investotopia or something I went to, where they do comparisons of the different trading houses. And I was looking at like Robinhood versus Charles Schwab or versus E-Trade and whatnot. And Charles Schwab looked really good. It was the same, there was a lot of there was a lot of what Robinhood had. Actually, they had everything Robinhood had and a whole lot more, because they actually do the no fees, no commissions. They give you a free share when you sign up. They do the fractional trading already, the fractional shares. They do all the, they have all the you can do stuff that you can't do on Robinhood, like short stocks. They have all the international markets. So that's one of the things with Robinhood that you and I have talked about offline a little bit, is that some of the stuff that I was looking at, Robinhood doesn't have listed with them because they don't deal with the international markets. They only deal, I think, with the U.S. markets, if I'm not mistaken. So
mostly, and I'm about behind the scenes tinkering with day trading, and I'm probably gonna need something a little bit more robust than Robinhood. So I'm gonna definitely try out that account you're talking about for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely say I was looking at maybe going over and checking out Charles Schwab, because when I was looking at the comparisons, people were saying, like, at least the places I looked at that were doing the comparisons were saying, like, hey, here are all the features for this one, here are all the features for that one. They were both pretty much in line. Charles Schwab seemed like it was probably the most robust, and
the thing is, I already have a target retirement account with Charles Schwab, bank account, and all that with them. So it probably would be nothing just to, throw some money in one of those accounts and get rolling with them. But anyway, folks, we're going to get you out of here on that. Larry, give the people the last word. I'm going to wish you all a good weekend. I've got to do some baby tidying up. We're another weekend away from having a baby in this house, and I got to get things right. So Larry, give them the word.
Yeah, you guys, be safe out there. The 4th of July is coming up really quickly. I know a lot of us like to go out there and have fun and barbecue and go out and celebrate. And I'm not going to say don't do that. Just try and be as safe as you can. Stay away from other people. Don't go to busy places. Don't go to the beach where everybody's packed in the same area. Don't go to the lake or the river where everyone's packed in the same area. Just, if you can, celebrate at home if you can. Go in your backyard and light up some sparklers and drink a couple of iced teas and lemonades or beers or whatever it is you drink, and barbecue and just celebrate at home. But be safe. If you are going to go out there, because I'm not gonna live under some false belief that everyone's going to stay home. If you are going to go out there, wear your mask. Remember that you're protecting other people, and when other people are wearing masks, they're protecting you. So it is one of these odd situations where caring about your fellow man is, in a sense, leading them to care about you back, which is protecting all of us. So that's not something that we've really experienced in this country in the last decade or so. It really has been us against them sort of attitude drawn down the line, and because they politicized the whole mask wearing, it's got this whole thing now. It's like, oh, we're the good people over here wearing masks, and then those are the deplorables over there. Well, everybody is vulnerable to this thing. So wear a mask for your fellow man, whether there is someone who you agree with or disagree with.
Mm-hmm. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like us, follow us on our Instagrams, follow us on our YouTube channels. Be safe, wear the mask, protect your family, love, live life, and we are out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, man.